So in today's video, I just want to talk to you about 4 quick release systems that I've been using on a regular basis over the years since I started shooting video. So the first one is one that you probably already have, and it's not really much of a surprise if you're shooting video, but if you are very new to it, then basically it's this Manfrotto 5-in-1 PL plate. And it's probably the most universal plate when it comes to using these kind of mirrorless and DSLR cameras that go on your tripod and gimbals and monopods. Basically it looks like this, just comes with a screw. There, it just screws onto the bottom of your camera. And yeah, this is a pretty obvious one, but just screws onto the bottom of your camera like that. Might need to use like a little coin or a key or something to get it on. And then yeah, when you've got your tripod or monopod head, it basically just fits on, goes straight on there like that. Yeah, very easy, very simple to use, but very important because on run and gun shoots, you're switching out your camera from tripod head to gimbal head to monopod head, or even just taking it off just to do handheld. Taking it on and off, that has to be as quick as possible. You don't want to be having to screw your camera on to each individual stabilizer. That's going to take you a long time to do that throughout the day, and you're going to be wasting seconds, you're going to be wasting time, and you're probably going to end up frustrating yourself, and that's not what you want to be doing. You want to be as calm as possible on a run and gun shoot, knowing that you can set up your gear quickly, snap it onto things as quick as possible, and that is pretty key. So that's a must-have, I would say. Either this Manfrotto system, which I use, or another kind of quick release system for your camera, but I would say that is probably the most common with most of the stabilizers that are out there these days. So the next one I want to talk about is to do with ND filters. If you're using ND filters on your camera to try and maintain that 180 degree shutter rule, so that your shutter speed is always double your frame rate to get the most accurate motion blur, you're going to be using ND filters throughout the day. When it comes to run and gun shoots, going from inside where you're not going to be using an ND filter most of the time to outside where most of the time you are likely going to need to use an ND filter because of how bright it is and you need to maintain your exposure levels. In that case, it can be a bit frustrating having to take your ND filter out and screw it on and off on your camera. So you've got your camera and you're outside and quick, okay, you need to be quick, something's happening, and you're screwing it on, and then you're ready to go. Same with when you're going back inside, okay, you screw it off, okay, now you're ready to go. Doesn't seem that long, but when there's an option out there that allows you to basically just snap it on and off within literally a second, I would take that every time. And that option is this Zoom, I think it's Zoom, or is it Exum? I'm not sure. It's from Manfrotto, and they do all different various filter thread sizes. These are magnetic, so you've got one that attaches to your filter and you've got one that attaches to your lens, and they basically just snap together like that. Magnetic, obviously. So yeah, just stick one onto your camera, leave it there forever. Stick one on to your ND filter, they're very small. Screw that on for the last time, leave it on there forever. And now when you're going from inside to outside or outside to inside, it's as simple as that. No more screwing. You can even do it not even having to look at what you're doing. Take it out your pocket, you're still looking at the action, and you screwed it on and you're ready to go. That's how awesome these are. The only downside, I would say, they don't sell them together, which is a bit weird. I'm not quite sure why. If you do know, then let me know. But yeah, so basically you need to buy the lens thread and the filter thread separately. So the next one is to do with the gimbal. So this is the gimbal that I'm using at the moment, which is the Gimbal Crane gimbal. Currently, when you take this out of the box, you've got this tripod feet that they include with it, which is good because having to balance your Gimbal Crane like this is a bit difficult. When you put the camera on, it kind of goes all over the place. So yeah, put this on, 1 second, screw it on. And now you put that on the table, and now you can start to balance, which is cool. But it's just this screwing on and off, which is annoying, to be honest. I know it doesn't seem, again, like it takes that long, but when you're in a run and gun shoot and you arrived to a new location and you need to get going pretty quickly or as quick as you can, just saving an extra few seconds by not having to screw this on and off can seem quite important. You might say to me, well, why don't you just screw it on once and leave it on there for the rest of the day? When you've got this case, this transport case that it comes with, as you can see there, having this, it doesn't actually fit all in one in the case. So there's no way to really get that in. It's too big. This whole thing now is just a bit too big, too long. So even if you're going to try and put it in a backpack or whatever, which I don't recommend you do, I always recommend that you actually put your gimbals in the cases they come in, because I've had them in the past. The motors, something have happened where they've not been transported around properly, and yeah, they get shaken up. I'm not exactly sure how, but they have basically stopped working. So I always recommend that you use your case that it comes with to transport it around. So yeah, you have to screw that on and off, and there's a separate compartment for the tripod feet which you have to put in. Again, there's another system actually from Gimbal. They've recognized that. So yeah, the system is this little thing here that Gimbal have made, and again, it's exactly the same. So it's quick release system. You've got one part that goes onto the gimbal, screws onto the bottom, and one part that screws onto the actual tripod feet here. And yeah, they kind of just go in there together like that. So I can show you how it's done. So that part there goes in like that. That's, again, screw that in for the last time ever. But basically, yeah, so you got them both screwed on like that. That's gone onto the gimbal, and that one's gone onto the tripod feet. And now, just by pushing this button down, boom, and it's on. So the fourth and final quick release system that I've got is to do with the monitor. And this one's probably a bit more optional, not that necessarily, because you can get quite decent ball heads out there. But I found this system that I quite like, so I thought, why not share it with you? And basically, it's this little rail. So it's by a company called Small Rig. They do a lot of these kind of little things. So this little part here is a quick release NATO rail. And you just put that, you need a cage for this, by the way, that's the only other thing. So if you do have a cage, stick this on there and leave it on, keep it on there forever. And then you've got this other part, which is the NATO clamp, which is again made by Small Rig. They're really good for these kind of little things. And that again screws onto your monitor. Screw it on, leave that on there forever. And now you have a system whereby you can basically just screw this on and tighten it up like that in less than a second, and your monitor's on. That's it. That's it. You've got this little lever there, and it just kind of tightens it up. Even if that lever's not going, the monitor's not going to come off, just tighten it up like that, and that's it. And that, again, just coming on and off like that, setting up your monitor on top of your camera, not the most necessary one, but it's one that I've started to use with this system. I really like the build quality of it, because ball heads, they can be a bit flimsy and kind of just fall around all over the place. This, obviously, you can loosen it up and you just can go back and forward like that. So there you go, those were the 4 quick release systems that I use now on a regular basis. And yeah, just interested if you guys have any other quick release systems, things like that you use. I'd like to kind of know what you use as well. So just, leave a comment down below and let me know. Thank you very, very much for watching again, and see you in the next video. Peace out.